With the development of civilization, the inquisitive human mind kept inventing new ways to care for teeth. Thus, written sources from ancient Egypt, dating back to 5000 to 3000 BC, describe a rather questionable recipe for toothpaste. It consisted of ashes of ox entrails, pumice, and wine vinegar. According to scientists, the resulting mixture was meant to be rubbed into the teeth with fingers. In ancient India, however, tooth cleaning was considered a religious ritual. It turns out that Buddha actively promoted not only his teachings but also dental hygiene. In particular, he advised using a tooth stick from the god Saka as part of a sacred hygienic practice. Ancient Greek standards of beauty, along with the proportional harmony of the forehead, nose, and chin, also required straight, pearly teeth. To maintain this condition, the Greeks used mixtures of ash, stone powder, burnt oyster shells, crushed glass, and wool. For rinsing, they used the salty water of the Aegean Sea, which helped strengthen the gums. Indian medical treatises dating back 300 years before our era also mention oral hygiene products used for mechanical cleaning and deodorizing the mouth. These were mainly powders based on pumice with the addition of natural acids. Various traditional remedies were also widely used in ancient times across different countries. Charcoal, gypsum, plant roots, resin, cocoa beans, and more. The Middle Ages were not the best time for dental care. Purity of thoughts was declared the main priority, significantly overshadowing bodily hygiene, including oral care. As terrible as it sounds, Europeans did not brush their teeth for several centuries, with the exception of the upper classes. For them, abrasive powders and special rinses with anise were prepared. In England from the 15th century, barber surgeons were responsible for treating and removing teeth. To remove tartar, they used solutions based on nitric acid, which dissolved not only the tartar but also the teeth themselves. Incredibly, this method was only considered outdated in the 18th century. Tooth powder, closer to what we know today, first appeared at the end of the 18th century in Great Britain. Wealthy people used special brushes to apply it, while the poor used their fingers. However, despite being developed by medical professionals, these powders often contained overly abrasive substances that could damage teeth, such as brick dust, ground porcelain, and clay fragments. To make these products more pleasant, glycerin was added. Later, the recipes were modified to include ingredients like charcoal powder, crushed bark, and flavorings such as strawberry extract. Borax powder was used as a foaming agent. In 1824, so-called tooth soap was introduced. It consisted of chalk, neutral soap, and mint oil and was fairly convenient to use. However, since it negatively affected gum tissue, a replacement had to be found. As hygiene standards advanced, the public demanded improvements. Finally, in the 1850s, John Harris proposed using chalk in tooth powders. To improve the taste, pharmacists added crushed medicinal herbs, fruits, or flowers, such as sage, violet, cinnamon, etc., later replaced by essential oils. Although powders satisfied consumers for a time, it turned out that due to their large abrasive particles, they wore down tooth enamel. Additionally, people became irritated by the tendency of powders to clump and get dirty when in contact with toothbrushes. This led to the development of toothpaste. Finely powdered chalk was evenly distributed in a gel-like mass. Initially, starch was used as a binding agent, forming a paste with a glycerin solution. Later, starch was replaced with the sodium salt of an organic acid, which stabilized the chalk suspension. In 1873, the American company Colgate-Palmolive introduced the world's first toothpaste, still packaged in a jar. By 1890, the company released toothpaste in tubes similar to those used today. This innovation provided better hygiene, safety, and convenience, including compactness and portability. Mouthwashes also became increasingly popular. They often contained chlorophyll to give a fresh green color. In 1915, extracts from certain trees growing in Southeast Asia, such as eucalyptus, began to be added. Natural toothpaste containing mint, strawberry, and other plant extracts were also used. Technological advances significantly expanded the functions of toothpaste. In addition to cleaning plaque and freshening breath, they gained therapeutic and preventive properties through special additives. The first multifunctional toothpaste appeared in the early 20th century. It contained the enzyme pepsin, which, according to manufacturers, helped whiten teeth and dissolve plaque. In the 1950s, toothpaste with fluoride compounds began to be produced. This was perhaps the most important discovery of the 20th century in oral hygiene. The first Anticaries toothpaste was Crest with Fluorostat, released in 1955 by Procter & Gamble. Fluoride toothpastes are now considered the most effective. It is no coincidence that in many countries, up to 95% of all toothpaste sold are fluoridated. The therapeutic effect of fluoride lies in its ability to help fix calcium ions in hard dental tissues, strengthen enamel against acid attacks, and destroy bacteria that cause cavities. However, the development of toothpaste formulas did not stop there. In the 1970s-1980s, fluoridated toothpaste began to be enriched with soluble calcium salts that strengthen tooth tissues. And in 1987, an antibacterial component, triclosan, was introduced into toothpaste.